So many stories, so little time to keep up on them all. Blink and you might miss a good one, but fear not. Frank Wilkinson, executive editor of The Week, is going to tell us everything we need to know about the past 7 days. Frank, good to see you again.
Good morning, Chris.
Let's start this morning with talking points. For a new front in the fight against obesity, 2/3 of Americans overweight. That equates to about $110 billion in health care costs. Just when we think we have done everything we can to combat this weight issue, the city of Los Angeles decides, well, you know what, they've got an idea of their own.
Well, they do have a novel idea. It's a one-year moratorium passed by the LA City Council on new fast food restaurants in South LA, which is home to about 500,000 people.
All right, so no new fast food restaurants, but there's still a number of existing fast food restaurants, correct?
400 of them. So that's the council's argument, that there's almost nothing but fast food in the area.
All right, now let's move into our Only in America theme right now. This is a new argument from a death row inmate, and it's bizarre but true.
It's also sticking with our previous theme. A death row inmate in Ohio has claimed that he cannot be lethally injected because he is too fat.
Okay, now he's 5'7", he's 267 pounds. What's the rationale behind this?
What his case says is that he's got difficult veins to begin with, they're in bad shape, and also they're hard to find. And the concern is that it would basically amount to cruel and unusual punishment if he were injected.
All right, now let's looking at now who had good weeks, who had bad weeks. We'll begin with a woman who's had a pretty good quarter of a century, with the exception of a few blurbs here and there. But Oprah Winfrey getting behind Obama's campaign months ago, and now it's paying huge dividends, so we see.
That's right. Two University of Maryland economists say that her endorsement of Barack Obama in the Democratic primary was worth about 1 million votes.
Now let's talk about the bad week. In this story, you talk about bizarre. I mean, we all get a little ticked off when we go to the drive-thru and we don't get what we ordered, but this gentleman took it to the next level.
This is a man in Florida who ordered a sandwich from Subway with everything on it, and apparently felt he did not get everything. Yeah,
Reginald Peterson not having a good week. Let's listen to a little excerpt from the 911 call that he made after not getting the sandwich that he had ordered.
They got the sandwiches that I paid for inside their store. Sir, I'm not leaving there until I get what I paid for. I'm not going to sit and pay $12 or $10 for some sandwiches and don't get what I paid for. Hello?
I'm here. I was waiting until you finished yelling at me.
You might want to make his sandwiches at home.
And now he is under arrest. Now let's talk about briefing this week in The Week. And let's talk about Ground Zero. Here in New York, I think we're a little bit more immune to it. We see that there is definitely a lag in the construction, the reconstruction down there. People around the country, I know I've had people talk to me and say, what is going on with Ground Zero? What is going on down there?
Well, there is construction going on at Ground Zero, but it has been a long and very difficult process. It's been difficult politically, it's been difficult financially, and it's been difficult emotionally.
One story of note this week, Paris Hilton. We saw her in the McCain ad one week. This week, her rebuttal, and it's been interesting. I think a lot of people will say, you know what, she's actually onto something with that energy.
Yes, she's got an energy policy now, right. It also happens that her parents have contributed $6,900 to John McCain's campaign, and her grandfather has contributed as well.
And finally now, tips of the week. You've got some tips of the week. Air travel, not only is it becoming increasingly more inconvenient and more expensive, but what are your tips for air travelers?
Mornings. Especially in summer, yes. Mornings, they're less subject to afternoon thunder showers, obviously. And the other tip is Saturdays. It's a little bit easier at a lot of airports to fly on Saturday.
Frank, good to see you as always.
Good to see you.
All right, we'll see you next week.